you introduce your background?
So my dad is partly American and my mom is fully Korean.
I have a Korean mom and I have an American dad.
My mom is Korean and my dad is white of European descent.
Yeah, my mom is Korean, my dad is Danish.
I'm a half Korean and half Ukrainian.
Can you introduce your background?
So I'm Korean-American, I'm mixed. So my dad is partly American and my mom is fully Korean.
Where did you grow up in?
So that is a complicated question. I grew up in many different countries. First I was in Mongolia, I moved to China, and then I was in the States, and then I lived in Russia for a while, and then I came back to Korea around 4 to 5 years ago.
Have you ever struggled with your identity?
That is a very good question because, yeah, I've actually had times when I was confused about who I am and what my identity is, especially when I came to Korea. Korea is a very closed, cultured country. People like to keep to their own groups, so it was very hard to join their groups, if that makes sense. For me, I've experienced different cultures, so I do understand their point of view because I'm the outsider coming in, but I'm also kind of Korean, but I wasn't really accepted as their own.
So amongst all the spaces you've lived in, is Korean culture a lot more stricter?
Yes, I would say so compared to different countries, European countries, America. Korea is a more traditional Asian culture. People are very strict about their age differences and also their traditions are kept very true. I think they have rules that cannot be broken.
Having a Korean mother, how do you navigate your relationship with her?
So my mother, she is of course Korean, but she is not a very traditional Korean. So she is a very accepting person. She never really pushed Korean culture or tradition on us. She let us grow up the way, wherever we were living in at the current time, she would help us adjust to that culture. So that also helped me build my own culture, if that makes sense. So I consider myself having my own culture.
How do you navigate your American culture?
American culture is very diverse, I would say. I was more American until I moved to Russia. So I studied in university in Russia. That influenced me a lot, to be honest. So American culture is more of an open, free culture. Russian culture is a little bit more limited, you could say, more held back in a good way. So I found a sweet spot in the middle of being free and also being reserved to a certain extent.
So which of these cultures do you resonate more with?
I would say I resonate more with Americans or Russian people or people who've lived abroad more than Korean people that have lived their whole lives in Korea and grew up in Korea. I'm not saying that I don't get along with them. I feel more comfortable. I can be myself more when I'm around people that are from other countries.
How are you navigating life as a half Korean here?
So I act as a chameleon. When I'm with Korean people, I do not want to disrespect or disrupt their culture, if that makes sense, because I am partly Korean and I'm also in Korea currently. So I want to respect and uphold their culture to a certain extent. So when I'm around Koreans, I know what I have to do. I know what kind of rules I should follow. I do keep true to myself, but I also uphold their traditions in front of them.
Do you see yourself moving to America in the future to live?
Yeah, I think I might go back to LA for a bit, but for now I'm living in Korea and I actually really like Korea. Of course, there are cons and pros everywhere you go, but Korean people are quite sensible, I would say. They're very neutral. If you try to understand them first and not push your culture on them, they will actually accept your culture better.
그럼 한국말 어떻게 배웠어요?
한국말은 집에서 제 어머님이랑 아버님 두 분 다 한국어를 할 줄 아시고 한국어로 저희를 양육을 하셨고 학교에서도 한국어 공부를 했었어요. 초등학교까지는. 그래서 한국어는 계속 했고 해서 한국어는 계속 이렇게 할 줄 압니다.
Which country shaped your identity the most?
I would say America to a certain extent because of the way I act. I act pretty American, I would say. I'm open. I like to talk to people. I'm an introvert to a certain extent, but when I have to, I can speak. I can accept people as they are.
How many languages do you speak?
I speak 5 languages: English, Korean, Chinese, Mongolian, Russian, Japanese. I'm studying right now, and Spanish. 5 of them I speak fluently: English, Russian, Mongolian, Chinese, Korean. But Japanese and Spanish I'm currently studying.
Can you introduce your background?
Yeah, so my name is Emily. I have a Korean mom and I have an American dad, so I am half Korean.
Which culture influenced you the most growing up?
So I grew up speaking both English and Korean, but culturally, I feel like I had more of a connection to my Korean culture. My mom cooked most of the time, so I would always, have access to Korean food. I went to a Korean church as well growing up, so I would have access to Korean friends, my mom's friends. I'd get practice speaking Korean through them as well. I'd say even at school or in my daily life, I would think of myself more as like a Korean American, like a kyopo, instead of a mixed person.
Why did you decide to move to Korea?
So my dad actually, when he graduated college, he moved to Seoul to work as an English teacher, and that's actually where he met my mom. My mom was one of his students at his academy. They're the same age, but they eloped, moved back to America. But ever since I was young, my dad would always tell me stories about his time in Seoul and just how incredible of an experience it was. So I knew from a young age that if I could, I wanted to sort of follow in his footsteps and also just learn more about my mom's culture, like growing up in Korea, because there is a big difference, Korean American culture versus like Korean culture. So I wanted to experience that as well.
Do you speak Korean?
I do speak Korean. I'm not perfect, but I do speak a little bit.
혼혈로서 미국에 사는 거는 어떻나요?
딱히 큰 차이가 없었던 것 같아요. 왜냐면 미국에서는 딱히 제가 사는 동네가 약간 다른 약간 혼혈 같은 사람들 많이 있었거든요. 그래서 저는 그냥 뭐 똑같이 살았고 다른 혼혈 친구들 많이 있었으니까 되게 그냥 아무 생각 없이 혼혈처럼 살았어요. 네.
한국에서 어때요?
처음에는 좀 당황했어요. 사실은 제가 미국에서 살 때는 진짜 혼혈 사람 아니면 그냥 한국 사람처럼 살았는데요. 한국으로 오니까 되게 사람들이 저를 보고 100% 외국인이다, 100% 미국 사람이다 라고 생각을 하니까 제가 그 전에는 전혀 100% 백인이다, 뭐 100% 미국 사람이다 라는 생각 해본 적 없어가지고 조금 약간 살짝 identity crisis 조금 생겼어요.
What's the biggest culture shock you felt in Korea?
It did take me a while to figure out things like 존댓말 and 반말 when speaking to like new people you've met. It's still kind of hard to grasp like when to like talk with 반말 to someone. I don't really think I have that 눈치 yet of like when I can like speak comfortably with someone and when I still like have to like keep the respect.
How do you blend your American culture with your Korean roots?
I think like when living in America, it's really easy to, because there is a like Korean American distinct culture there. I have a lot of friends who are Korean American in America, and it helps to have them by my side when thinking about blending American culture with Korean culture. I feel like I do get the best of both worlds when I'm with them. When I'm with my family, there's also like a big blend because I do spend a lot of time with my like American family, like my dad's side of the family.
How many languages do you speak?
I'll say 2.5. I speak English, Korean, and I actually could speak French fairly fluently. I forgot a lot now, but I did study in Paris for a few months for study abroad, and I've been learning French since middle school.
Can you introduce yourself in French?
Bonjour, je m'appelle Émilie. Maintenant, je suis née à New York, dans l'Amérique, mais maintenant, j'habite en Corée du Sud. Merci.
You have to translate that, Emily.
Hello, my name is Emily. I was born in America, in New York, but right now I live in Korea, in Seoul. Thank you.
Do you feel fully accepted in Korea?
Honestly, I've never felt like I was fully accepted as a Korean living in Korea. Everyone has been very nice to me and very welcoming.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yep, my name is David J. Robbins. I am from San Diego, California. Cali boy, born and raised. My mom is Korean, and my dad is white of European descent. Somehow, my life kind of brought me here to Korea for 10 plus years, just living this unconventional life, working, traveling, and living abroad here.
That's beautiful. Is this your first time in Korea?
Well, I actually came to Korea 10 plus years ago, way longer than I ever expected. So I've just been living here and traveling the world ever since.
Being a half Korean, how has that experience been for you, growing up in America?
I grew up in San Diego, California, which is this huge melting pot, different cultures, different types of people. And so it wasn't really a problem growing up where I was from. I wasn't born in this Korean community, actually. Really didn't know much about Korea besides my mom and her gang of emos. So I didn't really have a good grip of the language. I knew the word aigo and toto shikuro because that's what my mom said when she was angry. I knew that meant she was pissed, but didn't know what it meant. Growing up, it wasn't that difficult because all my friends were from different cultures, different races and everything like that. It was a big melting pot. I think when I grew my hair out, everybody started getting confused what I was. People would be like, are you Samoan? Are you Tongan? And things like that. No, I'm half Korean. They're like, what? Same here. People don't really know what I am here in Korea as well. So I guess just always kind of stand out, being different. But I think I like that.
How would you say you blend in Korean society right now?
Does it look like I blend in? I don't think I necessarily blend in. For sure, no matter what, I am a foreigner here in Korea. Despite being half Korean, I think, like, you can tell by the way I dress and like my image, my personality, things like that. So no, I don't think I blend in that much.
Somebody say, like growing up, your mother incorporated like the Korean culture in you?
Yeah, I think it was a little different. Like, I know a lot of communities, like Koreans that immigrate to America, they usually grow up in a Korean community. So the culture is very strong there. But actually, it was opposite for me. I grew up in a place called Oceanside, California. There was no Koreans around. Like, I didn't have Korean friends. My Korean influence was my mom and my aunties. She tried to teach us the language, but like growing up there, I don't know, there's like some kind of rebellious nature against learning another language, like growing up in America. Or maybe that's just me and it's an excuse, because yeah, I was terrible at school and I just didn't want to learn. So yeah, she would just get angry and she'd be like, yeah, and I'd be like, I don't know what you're saying, but you sound mad. So yeah, I didn't really have that much of an influence besides my mother. And I think that's why later in life, when I started reflecting like, who am I gotta embrace this side of me. I wanna know what struggles my mom did, like when she came to America, you know, like it's a fascinating thing actually.
You've been living in Korea. So how has that experience been for you?
Incredible living in Korea. So like it all started actually in college. I did a study abroad program for a semester in Hungary, of all places. And that like blew my mind. It changed my whole perspective on life and travel. And all I wanted to do was travel the world, go on an adventure and just experience life and kind of not do what was expected of me. Like, you know, after college, you graduate, kind of get a traditional job, work your way up in a company. I was very rebellious to that. And all I want to do is travel. And so because my mom's Korean, I wanted to discover that culture a little bit more, find her roots, kind of experience the language and the culture. And then it was an easy choice from there. I was like, all right, I'm going to Korea just for a year. I'm going to work there, travel, and boom, 10 plus years later, I'm still here.
For you to actually like, be out here for this long shows that you really love the culture.
Yeah. I mean, I love it here. There's so much to love about Korea. I would also say like, to each their own, like everybody has a different experience. Like Korea can be amazing for some and maybe not for others. But like, I think for me, I'm just kind of a unique case because I've always really wanted to live that like travel, adventurous life. Like, I don't want to get a stable job. I'm going to do something completely different. And I wasn't born and raised in Korea, which I think is nice in a way because I didn't have the same expectations that many people here have on them, like family expectations. You got to have this job and that. I was pretty much a free bird. And my parents always embraced that. So when I came here to Korea, I could enjoy and experience all of the pros and kind of take that to like the fullest.
Can you introduce your background?
So I'm like a half Danish, half Korean. Grew up in the US and I'm here on exchange. I don't know any Korean. I know a little bit. I'm trying to learn it.
So which of your parents is Korean, which of your parents is Danish?
Yeah, my mom is Korean, my dad is Danish. I've never lived here or anything. I've never even been in East Asia at all, actually. So my first time here.
What was the driving factor that brought you out here?
Well, I had to go somewhere I didn't have to go somewhere on exchange, but I wanted to go on exchange. I wanted to like visit Korea because my parents have been there. Also, I think out of the languages I'd want to learn, it would definitely be Korean because like my grandpa speaks it still, but the rest of my family usually doesn't speak Korean at all because they moved early when my parents were young and now they don't really speak Korean at all. But I thought it'd be cool to be able to speak Korean with my grandpa.
What was it like growing up as a biracial kid in America?
Honestly, in my area, it was completely normal. All my friends are biracial pretty much. It's a pretty diverse area I lived in. It was not abnormal at all. I don't know. Interestingly enough, like in the US, I'm like half-half. In Denmark, people kind of see me as kind of Asian, and here they see me as white.
Growing up, have you ever felt like you had to choose one identity?
I didn't feel like I had to choose, but I definitely was more in line with my Danish identity because like I could speak Danish and I'm like studying there now and that type of thing. So I've definitely been more in line with my Danish identity.
What about the Danish identity drew you more to?
It's more of the fact that my mom isn't that Korean. Like she's like ethnically Korean. She doesn't speak Korean. Like we'll make like Korean meals and other stuff like she learned from her parents, but like she's not that Korean. My dad though, he grew up in Denmark, came here and we visit his grandparents every year. When we visit my mom's grandparents, well like my mom's parents, that's just in California.
What do you know about the Korean culture?
It would mostly just be food. We've made like dokbobi a good amount. Every year when we visit our grandparents, we make, I don't remember what it's called. It's the rice cake soup and like bulgogi and other things. Just like we'd eat that when we were with our grandparents, but that's about it.
What's one thing people don't understand about being biracial?
I mean, I'll be honest. I think it really depends on the person's experience, like where they live. Like if you're biracial and you grew up in like middle of Idaho, maybe, that's a very different experience than me growing up in Boston, right? Because that's much less ethnically diverse, you know? Like for me, I haven't really felt it that much in my life. Mostly it's like the biggest difference for me is the fact that my parents live in a different place than I study or that type of thing. So like my friends, when they're on vacation, they just go visit their parents real quick, 3 hours away, and then they can just always come back to school. Me, I'm never around during vacation. I'm with my parents and that kind of thing, which is like the big difference. So it's more of like a location thing for me than it is ever like my race.
How many languages do you speak?
I speak English and Danish fluently. Like in school, I've learned Spanish and Japanese, and I'm hoping I can learn some Korean while I'm here.
When you tell people about your identity, What's usually their reaction?
Well, first, they can tell the white, you know? And then when I tell them I'm Korean, they'll ask north or south. The interesting thing is that some people think, in Denmark at least, some people think I'm Native American, interesting enough, or Greenlandic, because Greenlandic is like Native American. They do look somewhat similar, and like, so some people have that assumption because I'm mixed. That was one of the really surprising things when it came to Denmark. I did not expect that.
Introduce your background.
I'm a half Korean and half Ukrainian. I was born here in Korea and have a Korean passport. After living here 11 years, my parents got divorced, so I moved to Kazakhstan and lived there for 10 years. And when I turned 18, I get back to Korea.
Why did you come back to Korea after you turned 18?
It's a little bit hard to be a non-Korean woman with a Korean child, so my mom has issued my visa to Kazakhstan, so I was deported from Kazakhstan back to Korea.
What was it like growing up as a kid in Korea?
That wasn't that hard. Like as a kid, you don't see recognize any difference, but it's always a lot of attention on your personality just because you look foreigner. So it's always attention from teachers, from everyone.
When you tell people like you're half Korean, like what are some interesting things they ask you?
Usually Koreans don't really believe me when I'm saying that I'm half Korean, but I have Korean name, Korean last name, Korean passport, and as far as they didn't see my ID, like they don't believe me, but after they like seen my ID, it's starting to like treat me better, like foreigners treatment and Koreans treatments. It's a little bit different.
Are there a lot of other half Koreans in Korea?
I think that all half Koreans, obviously in my age, because like marriage migration started a bit of like 20 years ago. So like I don't think that there's older than me. Like I'm a first generation half Korean, so in Korea, I think so.
Which countries mostly have these marriage immigrations in Korea?
I think it's Vietnam and Philippines, and of course, both Soviet Union's country and a bit of US country and French.
So which of your culture do you lean towards more, Korean or Ukrainian?
I like both because as far as I grew up in Korean family, there's a lot of families Korea is more appreciable than families in Ukraine. Like in my opinion, like a Korean family really like friendly, and the traditions of Korean's family really fits with me.
As a half Korean, is it easier for you to make friends in Korea?
Yes, I can be friends with every foreigner and with every Korean. Like they're interested in me, Koreans and foreigners, so it's easy.